Good afternoon, fellow punters. Back with you again here today at about 1:30 on Tuesday with a few for tomorrow. The bus was out early this morning. First on was Sorka de Fatcha wearing a Dublin jersey in great form. Looking forward to the Leinster final coming up against Meath. Colin Aondar was on. He was like the local parish priest, getting on, his hands joined, rosary beads out, and he was reciting the Our Father. MP, I think he's from Galway, told us that Paddy Toomey said on the television a couple of days ago that he's going to win the maiden in Sligo at 6:10 this evening. We hope not, because we're on gratulations. The money suggests that Toomey's horse is up and ready for the gig. 11 to 2 into 6 to 4. We're out to 7 to 4, but we will be up for the battle, I'm sure. It won't be the first horse that drifted for us in the last week. I think we have three of them that went off second favourites and won. So hopefully this will continue the trend. Michael Clark was on. He was in great form. Mike Benson, he bought a car in Dundonald and he was wondering any suggestions for a name for it. So I said maybe Betsy, or you could call it Betty, like Michael Crawford with Some Mothers Do Have Him years ago. He had Betty all the time there. Craig Sunderland couldn't come on the bus with us today. He's heading to Seville for the Europa Cup final on Wednesday night. Rangers, his team is in it. It's the first Scottish team since 2007-2008 to reach a European final. They were in the UEFA Cup that time. Their opponents haven't been in a final since 1980, and I've seen that the sides met in the 1960 European Cup final, and the aggregate score was to Frankfurt 12-4, 8 goals in each game. But didn't they get their money's worth there? For the admission fee was well worth it, I'll tell you. So the best of luck to Craig and his team on Wednesday night in a final. Eric Cavill was on. He was in good form, and Craig was in great form last night. He cooked a mighty bit of steak and onions and mushrooms for me, and he bought a bottle of Dom Perignon, but we'll have it the weekend. So I just was satisfied with a glass of red wine with my steak last night. Paul Manton was on. Ronnie McKenna dislikes me playing the banjo, but I don't play the banjo, so that can stay in its case, Ronnie. But I will be taking out the guitar at some stage again in the future, so you can get the earplugs in, Ronnie. Good man. Keith Garrett as well sang a verse, an elegant verse, pun intended, of a little prayer for me now from Aretha Franklin. Why did I say it was pun intended? Because elegant verse done the business for us yesterday. Drifted out and won a 13-8, won like a nice little horse, and we'll go with that again next time, I think. It was a good in the Judman colours for the Gosdens. I mentioned yesterday then Morosini, the Gosden that was on the saddle, went out the side window, didn't make much of an effort to stay on board. Tabdi didn't settle at the start of the race and paid the penalty later, didn't stay. It looked to be coming menacingly to win the race, but didn't do so. But we finished off the day great yesterday with Recite a Prayer. Danny Mullins gave it a great ride. Looked to be wanting to be up at the pace at the start. Didn't jump the first that cleverly, but Danny doesn't panic at all. That's several winners we have had in the last 3 months with Danny. I love him in the saddle. He gave it a patient ride and won, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that going again. It was off 129 yesterday, or no, 132. It'll probably go up to £6 or £7, but there's another couple of races, I think, in that. Be interested to see whether they go to Galway with it. They probably will. We had a good day yesterday, so 2 good days. We had a few speed bumps and hit a few potholes in York, all right, but that's to be expected at some of those big meetings when you go on the way, the trends and the stats, the way I picked them. They either work or they don't work, you know, and a lot of horses didn't like that track, didn't act on it. It's a funny track, so maybe the next time in York we'll just stick to trainers that does well at the track, and we'll just throw the trend book and the stats book out the door. Tomorrow, there's an interesting horse in the 2:10 at Ayr. Number 7, London Palladium. It's a 4-year-old out of Showcase in Gelding. It's his first run for Adrian Keatley. This is his 6th trainer, and he's only 4. Yes, the sixth trainer. He started off his career with Hugo Palmer and it won its second start in Redcar at 16-1 on good ground. It won a nursery of 79 in 2020 in Catterick and by 2 lengths on soft ground is 11-2. It seemed to go downhill after that. New trainer then was John Kerr. 2 runs for him, 12 of 12, 14 of 14. On to Francis Casey, 1 run, 14 of 14. On to Seamus Fahey, 14 of 14, 14 of 14 in the 2 runs. They need a new trainer again. He went to the Wiley Sean Byrne up in Carlow. And on the 6th of April, he was 3rd of 15. A much improved run after been dropping in the ratings in Leopardstown. 66s into 12s of 52. And then it ran a very good race. That was over 7 furlongs. And then it ran in Cork. It was the same winner, Run the Jewels. To 2nd of 16. And it's a few lengths back to the next horse. But it was sold privately, obviously, since it's a risky proposition tomorrow. But they look like they're doing the business or wanting to do the business with Ryan Sexton, the good Gossoon jockey, claiming 7. And I think it's worth, we'll take the risk, but I have no idea the price. We'll go a pint win. The step back to 6, I think will be okay. Into 6:40 at Cork, 7 furlong sprint. This is a horse going up in trip. So 27 runners. Horse number 15, Secret Road for Jerry Kane and the son Colin Keane. It's his first run. Its first run in a handicap actually was in Cork when it was 3rd of 55. And then it won in Cork in September of 58. It's only run this year in the Curragh. It was 2nd. No, it was 5th on the 2nd of May. And it went from 9s into 4s before the off of 65. Second run back, it has ran well on the track before. And I think we can go a pint each way on that. I have no idea the prices, but I'd imagine it should be 6-1 the field. And one final one. In the 3:30 at Warwick, the favourite is Sophia's Rock for Dan Skelton. Is carrying 12 stone 7, but there's a claimant jockey taking the 7 off it. It won very smoothly the last time with Harry Skelton off 150 and it's up £8. But Elham Valley is in the race. It's a 5-year-old gelding trained by Fergal O'Brien. It's now rated 109 and Peter Cavan is riding it. It'll be taking 5 off it. So that'll bring it down to 104. But last October it was rated 127, went to 7th to Soaring Glory in a Class 1 hurl. And it was 3rd in the Boodles last year to Jeff Kidder when rated 124. The trainer is going all right. In the last 21 days he has 53 runners, 11 winners, 13 placed horses. So that's a 21% strike rate. It's risky, but there's only 8 runners, I think, in this. But this is good back class, and it's only a 5-year-old. And the ground and the trip, the up-to-date trip there for a couple of things. But a fast run 2 miles race might suit this ideally, I think. So we could risk, because we're up money this week, we could risk a pint each way on that, and we could also have a pint place bet on it as well. So there's the 3 for tomorrow. Gets interesting as we get on through the week. Thursday, Friday and Saturday there's a few, I hope to run, a few that have been looking for a race to get into them soon. Anyway, hope we might be able to get a bit of money today at some stage. There's nice money for a couple of them. Anyway, I got to run. Mickey D, bash the bookies, over and out.